Welcome along to this sports betting preview here for Tungsten Tales and Seconds Out. A big weekend, the football action this weekend in the Premier League. West Ham play Manchester City on the Saturday early kickoff. A big game for Man City. They're looking really well, scored 20 goals in their last 6 matches, and Sergio Aguero is absolutely on fire. 4 goals last week in the Premier League. He's 11-4 shot to score the first goal to me, which looks fantastic value. Aggregate score in the 4 games they played last week was 14-1 to Manchester City. They won 3-0 and 3-1 at West Ham. I think the odds are very short, but at 11-20, I fancy Man City to continue their pressure at the top of the table, put the pressure on Chelsea and come away from London with 3 points. 9-2 you can get for a West Ham win, and 3-1 for the draw. The best West Ham could hope for is a goal. Both teams have scored in 5 of the last 7 City games, and West Ham games have seen 7 both teams scoring in their 9 matches. But an away win for me for Manchester City. Swansea against Leicester is the other live game at 5:30 on Saturday evening. This is a tricky one to call. Bookmakers make Swansea slight favours, a little bit odds on, 19-20. I think this is going to be a home win, but I think this is not going to be very easy. Swansea to win to nil could be the way to go. Swansea's 5 wins this season, 4 of them have been to nil. And in this fixture, all the 4 matches they've played in the last couple of years have all been 1-0. Swansea to win to nil is around about 2-1. But if you want to back Swansea, 19-20 you can get for them. About 5-2 for an away win and 13-5 for the draw. Moving on to Sunday, the live game on the early game, 1:30, is Burnley against Everton. We all know Burnley's problems. They can't score goals. Only 4 goals they've scored so far this season. Everton's problem is they can't stop conceding goals. Only QPR have conceded more goals than Everton. A lot of people will look at this and look at the odds of 3-4 about Everton and think they're the home bankers, also the away bankers in the Premier League. I think this is going to be a lot closer than you suggest. I think this is going to be Everton, maybe to win to nil, which is a bet here at around about 2-1. Burnley do not score goals like we said. Everton have only kept 1 clean sheet. That was in the last home game against Aston Villa. Can they do it again? I think if you're playing Burnley, that is the way to go. The big game, 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, is Manchester United against Chelsea. This game historically doesn't produce goals, 0-0 and 1-0 in the last couple of years. But the way these two sides are playing and conceding, I think there's going to be lots of goals at Old Trafford. 7-5 for about an away win. Chelsea, odds on to win the Premier League title. I think that's going to be very, very popular, and I expect them to start a lot shorter than that. Manchester United are 15-8. And the draw is 23-10. Man United have won 3 of their 4 games at Old Trafford this season. The problems are away from home. But both teams have scored in their last 4. Chelsea do concede 7 of the last 12 games they have played. Both teams have scored. And I fancy both teams scoring here in the Sunday night big game, Sunday afternoon big game. Monday night football is QPR against Aston Villa. A tricky one to call. Bookies make QPR slight favourites. And the way they played against Liverpool, I wouldn't disagree with that. Villa come to West London in terrible form. They've lost their last 4 games, haven't scored a goal since the 13th of September, and they've come to a Loftus Road ground where they haven't won in their last 11 visits. This game, the last 2 seasons they've met, has been 1-1, and I think a draw here could be the way to go at 19-10. And if you want to play the 21-10, if you want to play the draw, 1-1 is a decent bet at about 6-1. We go on to Saturday's games. Liverpool play Hull. Liverpool are 2-5 to win this game. Hull are 6-1 with the draw at 7-2. Liverpool were hammered by Real Madrid, and they've only won 2 of their last 7 matches at Anfield. Hull played very well against Arsenal last weekend, drawing 2-2 at the Emirates, but they've never won in their history at Anfield. They've played 8, lost 7, drawn 1. They did win at Hull 3-1 at the KC Stadium, but at home I think Liverpool will be too strong for a Hull side, but not by many, maybe a 1-0. And will Balotelli play? Will he score? I don't think so. Southampton entertain Stoke. They'll be the bookies bankers and the punters bankers at 6-10 to win down at St Mary's. They were fantastic in their 8-0 win against Sunderland, and now they play a Stoke side that have got a bit of form going together. They've only lost once in their last 5 games, but they come to a ground where they haven't won since 1980. The last time Stoke won at Southampton, another one bites the dust, was number 1 by Queen, and I think another one will bite the dust with Stoke getting hammered here by a very rampant Southampton side who are looking good, won 7 from their 8 games in the Premier League. Sunderland entertain Arsenal. How will the Sunderland react from their 8-0 defeat to Southampton? I think they react badly. Arsenal have got a great record here. They've won their last 4 visits to Wearside. I think they'll be too strong, and at 13-10 I think they'll come back down the motorway with 3 points. West Brom play Crystal Palace. I think West Brom will win. They've only had one defeat at home all season. They've only lost once in the last 5 games, and Birahino is simply on fire at the moment. Take that big price about him to score the first goal. Last 3 years, all these games have scored less than 3 goals, and West Brom to win to 0 could be the way you want to play. The final game on Saturday is the Tottenham v Newcastle game, 7-10. Tottenham have only won 2 of their last 9 matches, 7-10 to win this game. I like the draw here. They've only one defeat in their last 5 matches. Newcastle, the players seem to be playing for Alan Pardew. They got their first win of the season last week against Leicester, and Newcastle won here 1-0 last season. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than the bookie suggests, and I'm going for the draw. Moving on to darts, it's the European Championship from Germany, live on ITV4. A couple of big games to look at on Friday. Adrian Lewis, the defending champion, is 1-3 to win against Jelle Klaassen, the former BDO World Darts Champion. Stephen Bunting is 8-15 to win against Andy Hamilton. And Michael van Gerwen in fantastic form, won in Dublin. He's 1-6 to beat Justin Pipe. And Phil Taylor, the world champion, the former world champion, 15 times world champion, he's 1-7 to beat Steve Beaton. In the outright markets, Michael van Gerwen is the favourite at 2-1. Phil Taylor 5-2, but James Wade at 10-1 would be my idea of an each way bet. He's looking good again. He's got his confidence playing. He got to the final in Dublin. He's looking good at the double top, and I think James Wade could be the man to be on this week at a very juicy 10-1. Finally, boxing, some big bouts this weekend. The first up in Monaco, live on Channel 5. Randy Cabello against Stuart Hall. Stuart Hall's 5-2 to win this fight, with Randy Cabello 1-4. This is the IBF bantamweight world title. Stuart Hall 16 wins, 3 losses and 2 draws against Cabello, who's had 21 wins, no losses, 1-4. Can the local man upset the odds and beat him? I don't think so. I think Randy Cabello is a much too tougher act, and at 4-1 I think he's a decent bet. Martin Murray's 1-12 against Domingo Espada. It's a WBC for middleweight title. Murray 28 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw at 1-12. The bookies aren't giving anything away, and I think he'll win that. And Hull, and there's a big fight in Hull on Sky Sports. Tommy Cole against Michael Casitas. Casitas is 6-4 to win this fight. It's the IBF International Lightweight title. Tommy Cole, 16 wins, 2 losses against Casitas, 30 wins, 6 losses. I don't think Casitas is the value here. I think Tommy Cole wins this fight. I think Casitas could be a shot boxer after some of the battles he's had, and I think Tommy Cole could win this International Lightweight title. Also in the lightweight title, on the same bill, Luke Campbell is in action. He's the Olympic champion. He's had 8 wins and no losses. He should make that 9 wins and no losses against Daniel Brazzello. Brazzello lost to Tommy Colton in his last visit to UK at Hull, and I think Luke Campbell will be too strong for him at odds of 1-12. Okay, that's the weekly roundup. We'll see you again same time next week.